get a little bit of sea breeze activation between 3 p.m. and 6 p.m., kind of like those textbook time frames. Now, since we have that high pressure absolutely dominating our weather pattern, take a look at this. Climate Prediction Center, as we rock through the meat and potatoes of June, we're going to stay in those above average temperatures, and rainfall will eventually start to mix back in as that dry Saharan air layer begins to finally wash out almost altogether over the next couple of days. You'll notice your rain chances start to go back up. Temperatures outside right now, though, are fairly unforgiving. Let's take into a closer look. It is only 12:30 in the afternoon. Orlando, we're already at 90 degrees. Same with Sanford, Citrus Ridge, and Kissimmee to our south, coming in at 90 degrees. And it is going to go up a couple more notches from there as well. You move over to the coastline, however, a little bit of a different story thanks to that onshore flow. You can see Cape Canaveral hanging out at 88, Palm Coast at 88, but if you recall, a couple weeks ago when we were in between systems, we've kind of wandered away from spring and we're now getting ready to welcome the bona fide summer season. Notice we don't have as much of a gradient anymore. Back when I was doing some of the hits on television on the weekend or even doing News 6 Extra, I would remember mentioning we would have almost sometimes anywhere between 4 to 6 degrees of a difference between our East Coast counties and interior Central Florida. That is no longer the case, unfortunately. So everybody's kind of baking under the high heat and sunlight now. So make sure you wear your sunscreen. I kind of regret not doubling down on my sunscreen a couple weekends ago for the Memorial Day holiday. But that's all another story for another day. Let's take you hour by hour now. You can see 12 o'clock right now on our clouds and rain model. Not much out there. Maybe some stray stuff up by Gainesville, Flagler County, Palm Coast, but even that really isn't coming in right now on the live radar you saw moments ago. You fast forward the clock just ever so slightly, we get a little bit of that boiling pot kind of effect near Sanford, the greater Orlando area, kind of hugging the I-4 corridor there, working our way towards the northeast into New Smyrna Beach, Volusia County. But then you can see at about the 7, 8 o'clock time frame, everything more or less fizzles out. And then tomorrow, as that Saharan dust really clears out, notice how aggressive our southerly flow begins. You get towards the maximum warmth or the max heating of the day. We get a little bit more widespread showers and storms to finally manifest themselves along that sea breeze. So it does look like tomorrow will be a sight for sore eyes here in Central Florida in terms of getting the rainfall back up and in full capacity. Here's a look at your hour by hour forecast. By about 1 o'clock, no rain. Notice the temperature, though, still going up from where we are right now. By about 5 o'clock, some of us could get in on a little of that rain action. We're looking at a 30 to 40% shot. Not all of us will see the rain today. It's going to be fairly spotty because we're still working with some of that Saharan dust high up in the atmosphere, and we're not really seeing a really good push of moisture from anywhere. That's going to change tomorrow and through the rest of your week. And that's also because, or I should say that's all in part, thanks to this high pressure ridge that's just sitting overhead. Let's take you over to the jet stream, get a quick glance at what's happening in the large scale. So there's that trough over the Great Lakes extending down into the southern United States, sparking severe weather outside of Central Florida. But then notice as fast as that showed itself, it's gone. And then we're back underneath high pressure. Notice the jet stream, the colors of blue and green stay well to our north, and there really is no influence in our neighborhood for an extended period of time, and that's also what's helping to keep the tropics fairly quiet. Let's go ahead and move into that now. As a matter of fact, it wouldn't be hurricane season without a tropical update. We now have Hurricane Barbara and Tropical Storm Cosme. I'm going to update this graphic here momentarily. I wanted to show you more or less that the East Pac is cooking. We have an area of interest with a 60% shot it develops over the next 7 days, which would be their fourth named storm in less than a month since the Pacific hurricane season got started. Here's the latest advisory on Hurricane Barbara. Staying far away from us, but the only reason I want to bring this up is we are kind of behind the curve. According to Dr. Phil Klotzbach of CSU, this is the latest Northern Hemisphere hurricane since the year 1993. So over 30 years ago was the last time it took any of our basins, the West or East Pacific, let alone the Atlantic, to produce its first hurricane of the Northern Hemisphere hurricane seasons. Tropical Storm Cosme has actually seen some pretty decent intensification over the last 6 to 12 hours. Winds are up 15 miles an hour, and central pressure continues to drop, now down to 994 millibars. Thankfully, neither of these storms are expected to impact any major landmass. Tropical cyclones, they don't like getting close to each other. They don't like rubbing elbows out there when they're out and about in the ocean, on the ocean surface. So you can see as they get closer, that interaction is going to inevitably the death of both of them, washing them out before they can make a run for the Baja California Peninsula. Finally, last but not least, really not much happening out here. We're fairly dry, a little bit of action down there in your Central America, where we will continue to watch over the next week or two in the mid portions of June, but no tropical cyclone activity is expected in our neighborhood across the Atlantic for the next 7 days. Last but certainly not least, let's take a look at your 7-day forecast. Biggest thing here is going to be those rain chances. Notice we're kind of on the lower side today. Temperatures a bit higher because rain chances are lower. That's kind of the inverse relationship there. But then you fast forward the next 7 days and you can see those rain chances really build up for Wednesday. And then as we're between systems all over again, by the weekend, looking like we should dry out some. Not going to be Saharan dust this time. We're just kind of in between pushes of moisture across here in Central Florida.
All right. So I hope you enjoy the heat because it looks like it's here to stay and not a whole lot of relief insight for us. But thank you, David. So we are keeping a very close eye on what's happening in Osceola County and Lake County. The big breaking news last week was the arrest of Osceola County Sheriff Marcos Lopez. He remains behind bars this afternoon at the Lake County Jail. He was given a $1 million bond by a judge on Friday, and he did not post bond over the weekend. And he was arrested last Thursday on racketeering charges. News 6's Angie Casada has been at the Lake County Jail all morning and explains the conditions that Lopez will need to meet in order to get out of jail and be able to go home.
Yeah, we're standing by the door here at the Lake County Jail, where it's the same spot that a lot of the cameras have been camped out all weekend. According to some sources, it might not be today that Lopez bonds out. The suspended sheriff is accused of helping run a multi-million-dollar illegal gambling business in Kissimmee, even while serving as the county sheriff. A judge set Lopez's bond at $1 million Friday, but Lopez can't pay it without first proving the money isn't from illegal activities, something that is common when charged with racketeering.
Could you tell me your name, please?
Marcos R. Lopez.
Prosecutors say Lopez took in hundreds of thousands of dollars in kickbacks. Now they want to make sure that's not what he's using to get out of jail.
The detail an extreme breach of public trust. The circumstances surrounding his misuse of office as the sheriff of Osceola County are very serious.
According to jail records, his bond status remains unfulfilled. One of Lopez's co-defendants, Carol Cote, is already out on a $100,000 bond. As of right now, Lopez and Sharon Fedrick remain in custody. Reporting in Lake County, Angie Casada, News 6.
Angie, thank you. We're going to take a quick break, and after the break, we're going to be speaking with News 6 investigator Donovan Myrie, who is going to tell us about this new AI scheme involving someone who has impersonated Elon Musk. And then a little bit later, we're going to be checking in with our own Julie Broughton, who's going to be talking to us a little bit about cows and methane gas and a new type of feed that could help cut down on some of those cattle emissions. We're going to have that for you coming up right after this quick break. Welcome back to News 6 Extra. I'm News 6 anchor Lisa Bell, and we hear about online scams all the time, whether it's a romance scheme, a threat of extortion, or perhaps, offers of a dream job. But now AI has added a new layer of deception to many of these schemes. News 6 investigator Donovan Myrie ran across a scheme in Volusia County, and he speaks with one man who is out with a big warning.
Mike D'Amalia thought his ship had come in.
Elon Musk,
The former truck driver from Massachusetts got a social media friend request from none other than Elon Musk. At least, that's who he thought was on the other side of the invitation. The messages quickly turned from friendly banter to, you guessed it, cryptocurrency investments. The Musk impersonator told Mike he could help him make quick and easy money.
I was all excited.
He was somewhat skeptical, so he wanted to confirm it was really Elon Musk who had befriended him.
Can you FaceTime me? Holy it really is him.
It wasn't. D'Amalia had fallen victim to a very elaborate social engineering attack using deepfake technology.
If that happens, you got to stop and think for a second. Why would he call me?
Chris Hednagi advises organizations on threat assessments of social engineering attacks. He's seeing an uptick in deepfake technology.
Somebody is trying to get you, to influence you to take an action that is not good for you.
So how easy is it to create a deepfake video? Chris Hednagi shared this video with us. He uses it to educate his clients. It looks like you're about to hear from Ryan Reynolds. You're not.
There is something I have been wanting to say. Chris Hadnaghi is my best friend, and his company, Social Engineer, is amazing. Oh, and go and buy his books too.
Looks like Ryan Reynolds, sounds like Ryan Reynolds. It ain't Ryan Reynolds.
Social media is definitely not the place to get your feet wet.
Holly Sammons is the president and CEO of the Better Business Bureau serving Central Florida.
It is highly unlikely, if not impossible, that any celebrity is going to find you online via social media.
Your common sense went out the window along with your $400.
Yes. But thank God it was only 400.
And Donovan is joining us now. And Donovan, yes, as he pointed out, thank goodness it's only $400. But you do wonder, how people are able to fall for this sort of stuff because, as one of the people you spoke with, they said you have to ask yourself, why would Elon Musk, the world's richest man, be contacting me, right?
Yeah, that's exactly it, Lisa. It's for the gentleman that you saw in that piece, he really fell in love with this idea of, oh my goodness, I get to hang with Elon Musk. Elon Musk is going to be my friend. He wasn't sure it was Elon Musk until he got that video chat with Elon Musk. And it wasn't just once, it was twice. And he literally thought that he was talking with Elon Musk, and he said, great, I'm all in. And then it started to kind of sound fishy and fall apart. He was on that website, he put $400 in, it instantly went up to $4,000. And then he's like, great, I'll take that $4,000, make my 400 whole again, and we can go from there. Oh, that's not how it works. You have to invest more, and you have to hit a certain mark, and so on and so forth. And that's when he knew he started to suspect that he was being scammed.
And sadly, we do see so many people who continue to fall for it and could lose their whole life savings.
Yeah, and it's not just people. In the web article that goes along with this piece, Chris Hadnagi had talked about a company in Hong Kong. They got taken for $25 million, more than $25 million, because one of the people was on a conference call, a video chat conference call, with who he thought was his UK-based CEO. There were also several other people on this call. Turns out everybody on the call, except for the poor guy who ended up doing the transfer, was an AI impersonator. That basically they had fake AI impersonating different people from his company. So it wasn't just one person showing up, it was like a whole series of people showing up. This technology has gotten, it's not quite mainstream, but it's gotten a lot better in the last year or so. We're seeing more elaborate scams on this type of thing. And you just basically have to use common sense, Mike D'Amelia was kind of like, my common sense did go out the window because he was so enamored with this idea that it was Elon Musk. And that's what Holly from the Better Business Bureau talked about. Use common sense. Make sure that it's not your heart trying to get you to do something, but that your brain is actually working at it
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah, common sense is important, but as you noted, these schemes are very sophisticated and very sophisticated people are falling for them. I mean, entire companies are losing money, and it's not just one person in the company that, might make the wrong decision. It's multiple people.
Right, and that's part of the reason we put in that Ryan Reynolds video, because you look at that Ryan Reynolds video and say you're looking at it on your phone. Okay, it's the video's a little smaller, the quality might be great, you might be having a little bit of a jumpy connection and things. That literally looked like Ryan Reynolds, and the idea of you see it and you hear it and someone says it is, all those things kind of build up to, yes, this is actually Ryan Reynolds pushing Chris's company or something like that. Those are the types of things where you just can't rely on what you see. You really have to kind of stop for a second, take a step backwards and go, why would this be happening? Is this real? It's kind of as if, President Trump went up to Lisa Bell today and said, hey, Lisa, you know what? You can retire today. I'm going to give you $1 million because I'm a billionaire. You're like, why would he do that? Same thing. You have to, I know, I'd like that too.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
We'd all like to. I
Yeah.
did this whole newsroom, all the news people would like to retire on something like that. But you have to ask yourself, why would somebody do this? Okay,
Yeah.
why would Elon Musk just befriend a person, a former truck driver from Volusia County? And it's that idea of like, we'd love it to happen, but it's probably not happening.
Too good to be true, unfortunately. Yeah, and
You got
anytime
it.
any celebrity, anyone with millions or billions of dollars is asking you for money, be careful.
Yeah, exactly. It's like they really don't need it. Elon Musk is busy running multiple companies and helping the federal government. I really don't think that he has time to just give me some personal crypto investing advice.
Well, Donovan, thank you for your insight on that and for shedding some light on that scheme. And speaking of Elon Musk, we're going to have an update coming up in just a minute on Axiom 4 and the latest Axiom 4 mission. But first, we want to talk about a story that our Julie Broughton has been working on. You may have heard that cows are a big source of greenhouse gas, but a new type of cattle feed could make dairy farming more environmentally friendly and sustainable. That's certainly good news that we like to hear about. Julie Broughton traveled to the University of Florida in Gainesville to learn more about this new idea.
At the University of Florida's dairy unit, they've turned milk production into a science.
Our goal is to make the cows more efficient possible. So we want them to convert what they eat into milk.
And the science says a happy cow
Right now they're lounging, they're just enjoying.
is a productive cow.
We want to make sure they're very comfortable, because the more comfortable they are, the more milk they produce.
And they're producing a lot. All day you'll see the cows lined up like shoppers on Black Friday. They're waiting to be milked. Each cow produces about 80 to 100 pounds of milk a day. Per cow?
Yes.
Okay, that's a lot. But it comes with a cost in the form of methane, powerful greenhouse gas.
Cows, they produce methane, which not only is a problem for the environment, but also it's a problem for the cows, because methane gets eructated through their mouths like a burp.
That's right, a burp. You see, as the cows eat, and they eat a lot, they burp, and that's how the methane is released. I met with Dr. Antonio Faciola, associate professor at UF's Department of Animal Sciences, to see how a new food additive may help. It's made with flaxseed and pea protein. In a lab, they measured how the supplement, rich in omega-3 fatty acids and proteins, reduced methane by about 20%. As an added benefit, it also improved overall digestion. Fewer burps and more milk. A cooler planet for all of us.
We only have one planet so far that we live in. If you're vegan or not, or if you eat dairy or not, it affects all of us.
Julie Broughton, News 6.
Julie, thank you. As promised, an update on that Axiom 4 mission. Before we go, we want to let you know SpaceX now says the Axiom 4 mission will happen on Wednesday. It was set to lift off tomorrow morning. Over the weekend, the crew carried out a full rehearsal of launch day. Now, once in orbit, the all-private crew is expected to spend up to 2 weeks orbiting the Earth at the International Space Station. So as of right now, the launch window is set for 8 o'clock from Kennedy Space Center 8 a.m. that is. And when it happens, we will bring it to you live on air on clickorlando.com and, of course, right here on the News 6 streaming app for your smart TV. Thank you so much for joining us on News 6 Extra. I'm News 6 anchor Lisa Bell. I'll be back here at 4 o'clock for News 6 at 4. And, of course, we'll be here throughout the evening bringing you updates here on the streaming app, clickorlando.com, and on air. We hope you have a fantastic Monday afternoon.